Welcome to the world of family, one of 7 worlds and 7 world productions, a subsidiary of Angelgram Music. My name is Gino, and I am the sole owner of Angelgram Music, as well as executive director of 7 World Productions. Introducing at this time, we are doing a family vacation that my wife and I did in honor of our departed late son, Brian. And this was a trip that we took for 2 weeks, and this is the first part, day 1 through 5, culminating at our stay in Washington, D.C. Hope you enjoy. Out of our place where we live, and we went northbound on Farm to Market 2863 until we came to Farm to Market 49, where we turned right and turned east toward Gilmer. At Gilmer, we hit 154 and turned right again, and that took us to US 271, where we turned north and headed towards Interstate 30. When we reached Interstate 30, we headed eastbound toward Little Rock, Arkansas, and Memphis, Tennessee. And then when we reached Interstate 40 in Little Rock, we headed towards Jacksonville and Memphis. And then we crossed the river, the Mississippi River, where we went from Arkansas into Tennessee. And we took the first exit, which is Madison Avenue, to get to our first stop, our hotel, which was a Best Western Plus, right there in downtown Memphis. And we stayed overnight there. That was our first day on our trip. On the second day, our next stop would be 2 hours and actually a little more than 5 hours away, which was another Best Western. And we stopped at a Cracker Barrel for breakfast, and then went on Interstate 40 all the way across until we hit another Best Western in Knoxville. So we had gone through Nashville without any incident. On the third day, we took off again on Interstate 40 to our next stop, which was another Best Western. But we had to get off of 40 at Interstate 81, where we headed north towards Bristol, Tennessee, which was the city at the borderline between Tennessee and Virginia. So on the third day now, out of Texas, we were in Virginia. And then when we got to Troutville, we took the Troutville exit, and that's where our Best Western was, and at Troutville Roanoke, where we stayed our third night. The next day we got up, and on the fourth day we were going to travel all the way into Bethesda, Maryland, where we would stay 2 nights so that we can get into Washington, D.C. We took East 66 towards Washington, and then the Beltway 495. And then we got off at Route 355, which is Wisconsin Avenue, into Bethesda, where we stayed at the American Inn, right past the Walter Reed Medical Center. On our 5th day, we took the Metro, which was the subway system, from Bethesda into downtown Washington, D.C. That was a long trip down into the bowels of Bethesda. Took a little over 2 minutes just to ride the escalator from the entrance all the way down to the underground section of the metro. From there, we would take the metro all the way over to Arlington National Cemetery, which was our first stop here in Washington, D.C. We wanted to see the changing of the guard at the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier.
Okay, 2.5 minutes to ride the escalator down.
When we got into Arlington National Cemetery, after we passed through security and the metals checking, we were forced to walk all the way up to the National Monument because there were 3 funerals that were being held at that time and the trams were not running. So we had to walk about 1.5 miles all the way up to the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier, and we passed through a lot of grave sites. It was quiet and peaceful there. This great archway was the entrance to the actual cemetery where the soldiers are laid to rest. And here we encountered one of the silent teams that were at one of the funerals. It started out as a chilly day. You could see my wife has her coat, but by the time we were in the cemetery itself, she had taken it off. Now this is the monument for the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier, where they had the changing of the guard. Apparently, each day, maybe 1 or 2 middle schools or high schools bring wreaths to the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier, and they place it on the, they have a little stand where they place it. You'll see it here in just a minute. There were quite a few people there, and yet it was very quiet. And if you hear knocking, it's the soldiers clicking their heels as they stop and make a turn. This was a very solemn moment. So it was Rosedale Middle School that was presenting and you'll see them come down the steps. And offer the wreath. There's the wreath. And a representative from the school, one of the students, will do the honors. And here's where one of the guards leaves and the new one stays. The changing of the guard. And there's the tomb itself of the unknown soldier, and the guard walking back and forth, guarding the tomb of the unknown soldier.
Thank you for your service.
Afterward, we had to walk back the 1.5 miles back to the front gate. And here we passed by the bus for the United States Air Force band and color guard for one of the funerals. And you can see the waiting line ready to come inside. There's so many people that come in to visit the Arlington National Cemetery. This was our way out, on our way out, where we got on the subway to the central subway station and got off at Foggy Mountain. Foggy Down. Foggy Bottom, that's it, it's Foggy Bottom. That's where we got off and walked all the way down to the Lincoln Memorial, which was another mile. We did a lot of walking. There's the reflection pool, where if you're standing on this side, you can see the Washington Monument reflected in the pool. If you're down at the Washington Monument, you can see the Lincoln Memorial reflecting in the pool. Quite ingeniously designed and built. And we proceeded up inside the Lincoln Memorial, where we wanted to see Lincoln up close and to see the inscriptions that are written there. You don't know how, you don't have a sense of how large this is until you're there. You can see where the normal height of people are, and then the actual height of the memorial. It's a huge statue. And on one of the walls is engraved in stone the Gettysburg Address. One of the shortest and most profound speeches made by a president. And those of you that are history buffs know the Gettysburg Address was made after the Great Battle of Gettysburg during the Civil War. Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. And then once outside, you can see the Washington Monument reflected in the Lincoln Pool. From here, we would walk down the mall another 1.5 miles just to get to the Washington Monument. As I said, we got in our good exercise that day. And here's a picture of yours truly at the Washington Monument. From here we continued on towards the Smithsonian Institute, where the entrance to the underground was again. And there we sat in the metro, where we would take the metro line to Bethesda, back to our hotel. Here you'll see a train go by that we did not get on. We got on the next one. But I wanted you to see the train. You see the lights blinking there? That means there's a train on its way inbound. It's quite remarkable. When you're down inside there, you think you're in a city unto itself. And here are the lights to the train. Here comes the train. And then the train departs. And here was our last night in D.C. at the American Inn, where the following day we would get up and go to Somerset, Pennsylvania, from there to Buffalo, New York, and Niagara Falls, and back to Sandusky, Ohio. That'll be in part 2, all those destinations. If you liked this episode, click like and leave your comments. And above all else, go ahead and subscribe so that you can receive email notifications of future episodes in this particular field of the world of family. Also, if you like, click on some of the other sites that we have: the world of art, the world of books, the world of faith, the world of food, the world of games, and the world of music. Go and be inspired.